Cloudland by John Burningham. They had spent the day high up in the mountains. So high were they that they could look at the clouds below them. "It's getting late and the light is fading fast," said Albert's father. "We must hurry down before it gets dark." Then something terrible happened. Albert tripped and fell off a cliff. Albert's mother and father looked everywhere, but they couldn't find him. They were very sad because they loved their little Albert. Albert was lucky. The children who live in the clouds had seen him falling and said some magic words. They either said, "Fumble grally goggle ho he," or "Tit-tum wuggle barry see ni," or was it "Gargle giggle fiddle num dee"? Albert found himself becoming really light, and the cloud children caught him. "We'll make you a bed in the clouds, Albert," they said. "You must be tired after your fall." When Albert woke up the next morning, the cloud children had made breakfast. "After breakfast, we're all going to climb up those tall clouds and play jumping games," they told him. Albert really enjoyed jumping. He wasn't at all afraid because he felt light as a feather. After the jumping games, they played cloud ball, but the clouds were becoming darker and darker. "There's going to be a thunderstorm. Let's make as much noise as we can," said the children. Then it began to rain. "We're going for a swim now, Albert," said the cloud children. After the rain came a beautiful rainbow, and they all painted pictures until it was time to go to bed. The next day there was a strong wind, and they were able to have races. They raced each other on little clouds, which was great fun until Albert found he was being left far behind. Albert was all on his own. The other children were drifting farther and farther away. Suddenly there was a terrific noise and a rush of air, and Albert was nearly knocked off his cloud. But the plane left a perfect path for Albert, and he was able to walk to the other children. Albert was really enjoying his time in the clouds and the games with the children, but one night, as he looked down from his cloud bed, he saw the lights of a city below, and he thought of his mother and father and his own little bed. "I want to go home," he said. He said it so loudly it reached the ears of the queen. "Now, what's all this about?" she said. "Nobody has ever asked to go home from the clouds before." "I want to be with my mother and father again," said Albert. The queen felt sorry for Albert, and she thought for a long time. At last she said, "I have a plan. It will be difficult, but I'll try to make our clouds drift over where you live." So while Albert and the cloud children spent their days playing, and each night Albert slept in his cloud bed, the queen got in touch with the wind. Until one day she said, "Albert, tomorrow will be over your home. But first we're going to give a party for you, and I've invited the man in the moon." Next evening, the clouds drifted over the city where Albert lived. The queen and the cloud children shook hands with Albert and said goodbye. Then the queen said the magic words backwards. She either said, "He ho google growly fumble," or "Nizari baggy wuggle titum," or was it "Dinum fiddle giggle gurgle"? The next thing Albert remembered was that he was back in his own little bed in his own room, and his mother and father were with him. Albert sometimes wishes he could be back playing with the Cloud children, and he tries to remember the magic words. People hear Albert saying strange things to himself, things like Nari Bloy Binny Hoo or Mickey Maggie Diddle He Do, but he can never get it quite right. There goes Albert talking to himself, they say. He always did have his head in the clouds. Hi, if you like this video, please give this a like and hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon to get notified whenever I release a new video.